Hey guys, what's up? All right. It's Double Deuce back. Today I was messing with the Toyan gas version V8, and I could never get this thing to run properly. Um, it was either skipping and missing, and it wasn't revving, kept shutting off. So, anyways, grab your favorite smoke, beverage, and popcorn, and I'll tell you what I did to get it this far. Okay, you're gonna see I got like a little water thing set up here. I'm still working on these little rubber O-ring belts here, you know, for the water pumps. They keep blowing off no matter what I do. I did try some bigger ones, but they rub on the housing. Even the little one rubs on the housing. And it's not these that are breaking as much as this one here that goes through all these pulleys and stuff over here. So I thought I had a misfire in the distributor. So I took the distributor all apart. Of course, I dropped pieces on the floor, rolled under the stove. You know, your typical, gotcha moment. So I dug all them out because I can't get on my knee right now. I cannot get on my knee. So I got underneath there and fished it out with a magnet on a piece of clothes hanger. And I got everything out of there. And what I did was I took the lower gear off the distributor, which is just set on it with an Allen screw, and it has a flat spot, so put it back on. And I put three 3 millimeter thin washers on it, and I get them by the bag. I don't even know if I have them here with me right now. I thought I did, but I buy them online. I don't know what the thickness was, but three of them seemed to tighten up the slop, because I could turn the inside rotor back and forth a good, over 1/8 of an inch, and so I thought that was it. I tried it with nothing. It was running better, but I was still getting spark beyond the cap. I think it needs a taller cap, and the rotor needs to come up a little higher, because I thought it was coming off the rotor and hitting the housing, but it's not. It's actually when it strikes these little poles for the spark plug wires here, that's where it comes up and shoots straight down. It's like a lightning bolt from the spark plug wire right to the housing. But even though I still have that problem, it actually ran better. I ended up cutting the tang off inside here that the coil rides on. There was a kind of a round edge on it. I cut that right back because the rotor was actually chewing into the tabs here, on the poles that come down from the spark plugs, and it made like a groove around there. So I cut it off just before the groove, so the spark would just hit the thing and not go travel past it, because I thought it was coming down to the housing. Well, that, like I say, didn't really change much. I did drill a small hole in the housing for the hall sensor, so it gets a direct, magnetic pull. Don't have to go through the aluminum housing. And then it was still running kind of weird, so I removed this plate. Now, Engine Man on Facebook, he suggested doing this, and I was going to do it, and I didn't have the time, and I forgot all about it. But anyways, I removed that plate, and what a difference it made in this engine. It actually idles now, not for long, because it keeps stalling, and I'm still messing with adjustments on the carb. Now, your front adjustment here, inside here, your low end, right here, they say to have it in 1.5 millimeters. So what I did, I got my calipers, and on the back of them, there is, let me zero this out. You'll see here, there's a little pole that comes out there. You can move that in or out. So what I did, I just stuck it out, and then I put it in the little hole there, and then just pushed it in. So And right now I'm at 1.28 millimeters because I'm playing with the adjustments on the carb. Now the high end, they say turn it out from all the way in, all the way out, 3 turns. And it really made a big difference. But now that I removed the plate, I might have to play with the mixture just a little bit. One thing I found out, the way they have this throttle thing on here, it hits the air cleaner so it doesn't go wide open. But then again, they had a stop screw in here too, and I removed that. All I did was unloosen the Phillips screw here. I unloosened it and just pushed the little handle down and cranked it back tight again, so I could get a full wide open throttle. However, after I moved that plate, I don't think we need a full wide open throttle, because this thing will rev and then it'll get to that funny point where it sounds like something's abnormal, like it sounds too good to be true. That's just before an engine comes apart. So I gave it a couple of those today and kind of scared the crap out of myself there, because I don't want to blow the thing up. But you know, I've spent so much time on this trying to get this far. But anyway, like I say, the distributor settings, you know, you set your number 1, make sure your valves are closed, both on top dead center. I just took the plug out, put a little screwdriver in there, and cranked it back and forth. Made a couple of marks on the lower pulley, and in between 1 and 5 for your starting point. So I don't know if this will start now or not, but we'll see. Because I notice when these things get really hot, they act all kind of funny. Get my stuff out here. And always keep your hall sensor wire away from all your power wires and your coil. That's not good when you have them right next to it, because it will actually wipe out the hall sensor. Okay, you can see we got power somewhere here. I'll move this back a little bit more so you guys can see. There we go. Now, I'm going to try to start it. That is so much better than anything that I've had on this little engine. To get it to start the first time, and then like I say, it smells like it's running a little rich, so I'm gonna have to lean out some things here, because believe it or not, just a little tweak of these mixture screws makes a huge difference. So anyway, like I say, you know, the distributor, you know, that kind of led nowhere, you know what I mean? But you know, see, I didn't have as much spark, losing as much spark here, because I was thinking the way it was kicking and bucking that, you know, the spark was grounding out on the housing, and you know, and it was making a misfire. But I don't know, I'm still having a little bit of spark here, but it doesn't sound like it's misfiring hardly at all. And you know, I'm getting a nice clean burn out of every cylinder. And you know, and then remove this plate. I just unbolted the carb, and then unbolted the upper half, and the gasket stuck to the upper half. So I just pulled this off and put the 2 gaskets together to kind of give it a little bit of space in there for mixture. And you know, because everything has to go through these tiny, tiny little holes. I mean, these things are small, you know, and this thing seemed like it would flood all the time when I was trying to start it. And I know why, because it was all fuel. Hardly no air was coming in. Now I'm getting a good air mixture. So you know, you need spark, air, and fuel for everything to run good. So, but like I say, you know, I want to thank the Engine Man on Facebook for that, because that was, you know, it, you know, it was quite a frustrating time trying to figure this out. And you know, I've had it running good, and then it runs bad, and I think it was all because of the gear in the distributor was too loose going back and forth. Because I would start right up before, even with the small little restrictor plate in here, it would start up, and you know, I'd rev it up, and it would kind of bog a little bit, and then it would like puff a rich mixture out, and then it would run like crap. And I was like, you know, I couldn't figure out why. And I think that that slop in the reluctor wheel inside the distributor what it was. So if you take your cap off, if you got slop in there, you can still push your distributor down, but mine was down all the way, and I still had a little bit of slop. So I just shimmed it with some, you know, 3mm washers, and for some reason, like the grease, I greased the crap out of this thing when I first put it together with the red wheel bearing grease, high temp, and it's from Valvoline, and I pulled it out, and the thing was bone dry. So when I did some experiment with it, I greased it again, packed it full in there, and I pulled the distributor out again. The gear was bone dry. So that's something you might want to keep an eye on as far as like maintenance, you know. But that's my video for today. You know, I'm just this thing is always, you know, I can't sleep at night when something is bothering me like this. So, you know, I'll probably sleep good tonight. So, anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Like, share, subscribe if you want. Tell your friends. And if you got anything out of this, leave a comment below. I'm still trying to answer as many questions as I can when I can. And, you know, even though I got a lot of time on my hands right now, I got a lot of, well, they used to be honeydew things where I have to do them myself now, like beat the farts out of my laundry, cook my own food. I'm on a strict diet right now, so you know, I'm trying the carnivore diet out, so I have to make all my food. You know, no processed foods, no carbs, and so far my energy level is shot through the roof. You know, and it's just, I was amazed. So, and that means I can't have my favorite beverage for a while. But as soon as I lose my belly, you know, my beverage is still on the menu. So, you know, I'll be knocking back a few cold ones there in celebration. And that's probably all I'll be able to handle, you know, before, you know, when you're a professional, you can drink, you know, 10 of them easy, you know. And when you lose all kinds of weight and you get back on that horse, boy, whoo, you know, 2 of them, no way. But, all right, guys, take care and adios.